after Donald Trump's disastrous press conference or Oval Office presser, he sent out some people to defend him. Now, what am I referring to? Well, of course, his exchange with Zelensky, where for some reason Vance and Trump just berated Zelensky over and over and made so clear they have no idea what they're talking about, or they do, and they are very malicious in what it is that they're saying. And Lindsey Graham in particular, I was interested to see how he was going to try to defend this. If you're curious about the exchange I'm talking about, you've probably seen it everywhere, but we did cover that already, so you could watch that after this. But Lindsey Graham has been very supportive of Ukraine, and he's been very vocal in that, and it's gotten him in trouble with MAGA. And so what could he possibly come out and say at the little press conference he held to defend Donald Trump? And it was bad. It was bad. So we'll get to that. But to remind you of Zelensky not being one of these MAGAs who's always been opposed to Ukraine, he's met with Zelensky multiple times, making this even more of a violation. Here's him with Zelensky saying the way you deter Russia is supporting Ukraine. If you appreciate the show, please do click the subscribe button.
You're the ally I've been hoping for all my life. Not one American has died defending Ukraine. You've taken our weapons and you've kicked their ass. How do you deter Putin? You arm this guy to the teeth.
So he was saying stuff like that. He was also saying stuff
Do you believe
like this, which got him in trouble with the MAGA crowd.
for the president of Russia for kidnapping children in Ukraine and sending them to Russia? Do you believe in family values? How would you like that to happen to your family? So just shut up, get out of here. If you want to speak, go run and get elected. So here's the deal.
I really am trying not to get on another rage bender because it's not good for the body. But do you have no shame, Lindsey? Because look at what he's about to say after being very vocal in his support. And the reason I'm emphasizing that is because it proves this is disingenuous. Because you don't watch the exchange that Zelensky and Trump had. You don't watch Trump and Vance berate Zelensky like they did and cite factually incorrect narratives to do so and think, yeah, Zelensky was acting disrespectfully. You just don't. And Zelensky actually handled it with way more grace than I would have. And I'm a softie. And somehow the little soul he had left, Lindsey was able to sell it to come out and say this.
Talked to Zelensky this morning. Don't take the bait. President Trump was in a very good mood last night. Somebody asked me, am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance, standing up for our country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelensky again. I think most Americans saw a guy that they would not want to go in business with. The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president was just over the top.
Yeah, so for our full show viewers, for their sake, I can't go back and play the whole exchange again for you because it would get really repetitive for our podcast listeners and full show viewers. But I'm sure you've seen it. If you hadn't, you would think, gosh, there must have been something that Zelensky did that was bad. There must have been something. Here is the exchange. Okay, I'll summarize it so we don't have to watch it again. Hey, you keep saying that it's my fault that we don't have peace yet, but Russia's leading a brutal invasion trying to take over the country and killing civilians and soldiers to do it. And when you talk about a ceasefire to bring peace, I'd love that if we can guarantee that ceasefire would hold because past agreements with Russia have proven to be meaningless and they'll break them. Okay? And the response was, "How dare you? You're so disrespectful." That was he did not show any disrespect. Actually, I don't think he should have strategically, because I understand he needs Trump to not completely cut off U.S. support, which seems like he may do, but he morally could have been way more disrespectful because what we're seeing right now is a murderous dictator, which Graham has articulated that he knows, which makes it particularly bad, as I said, because he knows better. But Trump is citing the United States with a murderous dictator over our ally. Because you'll notice he's not shouting at Putin about preventing peace. He's shouting at the leader of the country that's defending itself. You know, Zelensky can't just lay down arms to get peace instantly. It's impossible. Russia would just continue his invasion. They would love if they lay down their arms. But Russia is the only party, the only side of this conflict that has the unilateral power to just instantly have peace by withdrawing their invasion, their troops. Here's another Lindsey moment.
Hey, one at a time. One at a time. Christian daytime. Christian daytime. Thank you. Do you think President Zelensky needs...
What on earth? Why were his eyes shut for 7 seconds? Lindsey, what was this? Look at this. Here, I'm going to mute it and we're going to count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he finally gets those suckers, those flaps to move. Goodness gracious. It's kind of like his insides are ashamed. And he can't even, I don't even want to open my eyes to see how horrified all these reporters are.
Zelensky needs to resign to resume these peace talks.
He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he needs to change.
Do you regret
Thank you.
all that fun?
Senator, do you think it's a
Wow. He's calling on Zelensky to either resign or change. So then, and he knows better. Look at him. Look at him. Going off there. Stop it. I don't even know what that means. I've never been so upset by the back of somebody in my whole life. He knows better, and he knows that Zelensky is only demanding what any leader of any country in his situation would, which is, sorry, we can't just make massive consequential concessions in exchange for a meaningless piece of paper. We can't. Otherwise, more death is going to come. Because we've had peace deals with Putin, and he broke them to do this. So whatever it is that he's seeking to do, he's going to keep doing, as long as there's not strong enough security guarantees for Ukraine. To act like it's absurd that he would very passively say that in the meeting, which is, I would love peace, but it has to be lasting peace. It can't be Russia gets to take a little breather before continuing. And for that to cause the reaction we saw, again, I really do believe in trying to bring a little bit more of a positive approach to political commentary when I can. But I am more upset today than I've been in a very long time doing this job. And it is tough to explain how devastated and humiliated I feel that my president, the US president, right, would do this. For so long, there were certain fundamental values and principles that all across the political spectrum people held in America. And now there is a sense that has evaporated for MAGA. And that is a really scary place to be. Lindsey didn't just say that during a press conference. He also, looking disheveled as ever, went on Fox News and said this.
I met with Zelensky this morning. I urged him to stay on message, be grateful, be thankful. We'll talk about details of security guarantees later. Keep it upbeat, keep it positive. It was absolute, utter disaster. The question for me is he redeemable in the eyes of Americans? Most Americans witnessing what they saw today would not want Zelensky to be their business partner, including me, and I've been to Ukraine 9 times since the war started. I met with him this morning. President Trump I talked to last night, he was upbeat about the deal. I've never been more proud of President Trump for showing the American people in the world You don't trifle with this man. He was very positive. He was very upbeat. He wanted to get a ceasefire. He wants to end the war. And Zelensky felt like he needed to bait Trump in the Oval Office.
If you've seen the clip, you're just absolutely ripping your hair out. What bait? Bait Trump? How did he bait Trump? What are you talking about? You should know the difference between what Zelensky did and trying to bait someone. Because you are the master of baiting people. Sorry. Okay, this is serious. That was for Jaden, okay? Before we recorded, he said, please make that joke. No. It is sickening to see someone who knows better, I keep saying it, look at us and say something he doesn't believe. Because he's so scared. Because every time Trump passes him, he goes to the restroom in his pants. He's so nervous, a little poodle. Don't you hate, by the way, when a little dog just cannot keep themselves from peeing all over the carpets? That's like Lindsey Graham. He's like a little puppy, but it's not even a puppy anymore. Like 5 years, it's a 5-year-old pup dog, you know, dogs. And it's still peeing all over the carpets every single time father walks around. That's Lindsey Graham. No spine, no principles. Are you kidding me? In response to that clip, you have Kelsey Taggart saying, I urged him to be grateful, quoting, be thankful. We'll talk about security guarantees later. Then responding, saying Senator Graham wanted a wartime president to ignore security guarantees and details and play to Trump's ego. How spineless can you get? I don't think you can get more. I don't get, given what's at stake here and how clear right and wrong is, how you can choose political relevance or stability over principle. And I know that Lindsey has a preoccupation with relevance. He's really obsessed with that. He wants to be relevant. And so right now, being in Trump's good graces is the way he can stay relevant in the Republican Party. But one day you're going to be just a guy who's about to pass away. We're all just going to be a person who's about to die one day. And it could be right around the corner for some of us. You never know, right? Just to get real dark. Why not? We are always, you get the point. We're all going to die. That's my point. You understand. And in that situation, when you are laying, hopefully in a very peaceful situation on your deathbed, any political relevance you had won't matter. Any time you got in front of the cameras or Trump said, good little boy, muji, but don't pee again. But you're a good boy. None of that's going to matter. But who you were and what you stood for, that does matter. That will matter even to you, as selfish as you may be. Lindsey. And do you really want to take your final breaths knowing about yourself that you chose short-term gain over massively consequential principle? Because that's what so many people are choosing. Marco Rubio, you see here on screen, he posted, thank you, President Trump, for standing up for America in a way that no president has ever had the courage to do before. Thank you for putting America first. America's with you. How? Okay, wait, put it back up. Sorry, let me address why. But that's Marco Rubio, who looked visibly uncomfortable while this was taking place. And he was slouched. He was trying to disappear into the couch cushion. And so clearly in the moment, he didn't feel this way. But a staffer was able to write that up. And he signed off on it because this is the only thing anyone in this cult of a party is allowed to say. And how do you cheer on something any president could have done? You don't think Biden could have? Have you heard about behind the scenes when Biden tears into people? He could have. ripped into Zelensky for no reason. Anyone could have. The US president can belittle less powerful nations whenever they want. They could. But some presidents are less concerned with getting a clip so that people who don't know better cheer them on because all they see is, oh, he's talking loud. Yay. So that people who couldn't misunderstand this conflict more will click the like button. And caring about that, choosing that over. Most US presidents haven't chose that over being an adult, honestly. Over choosing the principle over whatever this is, over Putin, I guess. And you'll notice Trump never acts this bravely, courageously as they're describing it with Putin. In that situation, maybe he's the little puddle. The puddle. The poodle making the puddles is what I meant to say. The puddling poodle. POTUS. And so is that really the sign of a strong man? Maybe a strong man, but not a strong man. And in reality, it's indicative of a very weak one who knows Zelensky will be respectful. So you know he'll sit there and allow you to rant at him like that. And you'll pick that over just being a good partner in peace. It is disturbing that these are some of our leaders. It really is. But I've made that point a lot. Share your thoughts in the comments.